Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 13th of March 1970. And I think it's pretty safe to say we're now moving the game into a slightly more accelerated pace, because we are getting very close now to joining up our three centres. You can see the population now is just coming up to 45,000. But it's also worth noting that this is also a fairly dangerous period with respect to the game, because this is the type of time when things could go quite badly wrong. Of course, another major step forward is we are now moving towards full electrification. And in the last part, we were working on getting some of these train sets up, or our new construction offices up and running, so that we can speed up the process of laying track. But of course, the other problem is, because I'm working across three centres, things are a little bit more interested with being able to keep track of what's going on. Now, one thing you will see now is that we are getting a little bit of mixed waste coming in here now. And this is down to the fact now that I've actually got a train connection from Warstock to come out to here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to need to set up a train in here. This is waste control. So, and what we will do is probably sell this waste to the border, because I'm not really using trains to export any goods at the moment. So maybe that's going to need to be the well, I think we're okay at the moment. We got, I don't know, we got 100. Anyway, I'll finish the intro and then we'll come back and sort that out. Over here in Totten is an area that we need to work on. At the moment, we're trying to break through with our road crew here. But of course, the pace is going a little bit slower because we don't have that much in the way of resources operating in this area. I've been thinking a little bit about what's going on here, and I do have another plan over here for this area, which I'll talk about. Well, that's quite not that as flat as I thought it would be. Because one thing that we are, didn't mean to do this. One thing we are going to need to do is plan for a way to remove the ash, and also possibly move it somewhere else where it can be disposed of. And I think we're going to need to use a train to do that. The other thing I'm kind of thinking of, I need to check, is we need a way to move away the output from the scrapping yard here, and also the possibility of how can you put it, moving away plastic for recycling. There's a possibility we could recycle plastic here, and what we could do is actually, yeah, that could be an option, but we don't need to build it now. Yeah, I'm thinking on the go here, guys, at the moment. Yeah, what we could do is, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, is we could put, plastic recycling isn't particularly that big. We could bring it in here, so that the plastic waste from here and in here could be brought down, and we could put a warehouse down here so that the surplus stuff that we were going to put into here, because we got this little small warehouse here. So what I could do, let me just do this while I'm kind of thinking about it. Yeah, we've got a cargo station there. So what we could do is be a little bit, I'm going to put this in here, but we're going to hook it up to the road for the moment. In fact, we could probably put you in about there. And what this could do, what this will do is, actually, I'm just going to, no, we can leave that for the moment, because we're going to need to put a road round here. So what we could do is put a connection, put a cargo pickup there, and then we could put another plastic recycling in here. Components from the truck or the vehicle scrapping could then be put into there, and then we can use that as an outward bound path to take the plastic away. In fact, we could use the plastic for other things, which could be very, very useful actually, come to think of it. So that's one thing. If we come down to Lymington, we've finally got Lymington here. We are bringing together some accommodation here, and we did get through the winter. Now, I did have one problem. I think it's been solved now, and this is one of the hazards that when you bring in lots and lots of over 21s rather than spreading the workers, that is that you can suddenly get a rush on the kindergarten, which then actually starts to cause problems. So what I had to do is kind of rush build a kindergarten here in order to be able to accommodate that overflow into this area. But you can see we've now got this under control. We've now got a train set out here, and we can now, what we need to do now is build up the workforce in this area so that we can start to develop this and get this going. Another problem I've got is quite a big staff shortage in the steel mill here. So what we may need to do is, once we've built the bus stop, which is actually being built actually, I think we're not going to put workers into there just yet because we don't really have a surplus workforce. I don't know why I'm playing on slow, but what I'm going to do is we might need to send workers out here for a little while. So I'm going to put in an end station. Where's the end station? Vehicle depot. Bus end station large. Got no workforce. Oops, going the wrong way. What am I doing? We need it on the right hand side so that we get a traffic flow. I think if we put you about there, like that, and what we can do then is actually just build this in. This should pick it up along with the road crew over here. The road crew's not exactly doing that much at the moment, so you can do it. Basically, at the moment, what I'm doing is using the road crew as a support logistics here. What I will do is get those built, and the road crew is pushing out this way towards building a road out here. Actually, what I will do, if these guys aren't, I think these guys are a little bit over. Actually, I don't know. You've got a little bit of spare capacity. We might be able to draw on that. Yeah, so I've had a bit of a problem here with workforce. One of the big bottlenecks, which I was running on, is this one here. But what we do need to do now is just remove this bit of road here, so that these guys get the idea that you don't need to do it. I wouldn't mind snigging out that little bit as well. Let's just make sure the demolition crew can remove that. Yeah, hopefully this will stop that annoying traffic jam, which I think was actually causing the problem with the steel mill here. What I do really need to do, if possible, is upgrade this road to get a little bit more speed on the bus service that's going to come out here permanently. But I'm going to need to work on that quite carefully. But hopefully that will now settle things down a little bit and get a little bit more working. So we do need to so what I'm in the process of is moving over to here. But at the moment I'm still wanting, I don't know if this one here, you're working to Tottenham. I think because what I'm trying to do is pull the workforce away from here, but I don't think we've got anything over here yet with the ability to deliver into here, have we? We've actually got the train depot, we got that there. But what we haven't got is we've got the gravel drop off here. So this needs to be gravel. But what we don't have here is we can only work on what we got here. So I can reduce the boards down a little bit. I think that will work. We need to get fuel into here. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to need to do. These guys need to deliver fuel. We're going to need to do work on some fuel distribution as well, because it's getting... I'm not exactly sure why it's telling us that waste trucks here. I'm not exactly sure why you think that I need a waste truck. That doesn't make sense. Maybe. Yeah. I think it's confused itself with the bits and pieces here. I want you guys to, well, I think you can pick up those two from there and deliver to the border. And we can get the fuel running out through there. So I've got lots of little bits and pieces, odds and ends that need to be kind of sorted out. But at the same time, we do need to push out in various other ways. I just want to, yeah, we got from the 29th of March there. We've still got a lot of crops up here that need to be chipped out. One thing I would like to do is start using this distribution office here to try and make this a little bit more efficient. Anyway, so that is the current situation. We're just going to let the game build up for the moment over time, because we do. I do need these connected up as well. So we need to get that in the center there. One thing I do want to see. We just see. Got water. We've got sewage. Yeah. Just make sure that these have got everything. Power, heat, water, sewage. Yeah. Because what I want to do is build down through here to get things going. Anyway, we're just going to leave for the moment. Actually, I did build. I think what we'll do is we've got this one here. We're gonna rail con. Yeah, we'll just call it rail con. What I want here is we're gonna need get a couple of dumpers, capacity. Get 2 dumpers to begin with, 2 open holes, and a 1 covered hole for the moment. Oops, train waiting too long. We're going to get a lot of that at the moment because there's the problem I've got in the moment, just to kind of talk you through the problem, is we are now on the point of actually laying the track through here. Now, things will probably get a little bit messy now, but I don't really have a lot of choice here. But we're going to... I don't think we'll do that little bit just yet. I think we're going to try and get the train to come in. A little bit worried about that bit. Oh, that bit can go. Right. I want the fast track layers on this bit here. I'm going to get you, and I want you to work from this end. Cannot exist. Does not exist. Okay. What is... let me just look at the rail signals here. I think what we'll do is... I put mixed signals there. If I put in... Yeah, it's actually needing a little bit of curative thought here. You can come up there. You can come there. Okay, that might do it. See if we can get you there. Yeah, I should have planned this a little bit better, but there's not much I can do about this, and that can go all the way through to there. And the idea is that we can lay this track through, then we will get to this junction, and this junction is going to be interesting. Okay, so we're now going to let that go there. But if we can make this connection in through here to here, and of course the other thing, what we should do is all these should go off, but we still need to push out through here. You can see this is now being built. We're nearly at Swanwick, and then we can start working on the next phase through there. Okay. The other step forward that we're pretty close to, if I can find it, is that's the connection there. It's, where is it? I've lost where I am. We've now got this area finished up here. Just want to make sure, see if this is actually electrified. No, it's not. Okay. I think we're going to, don't want that electrified, I want that electrified. The reason for that is that we are going to just make sure, yeah, that's electrified. I want the construction trains to be able to work into here quite successfully. Let me just get these guys. I think we can use these to make these connections into here. Again, we're just going to increase the priority on these and get you built into there. Because if I can get electrification up to here, then that will mean that I can demolish this, and then what that will mean is that we can then put the necessary track connection in to the distribution office here. So we can put the necessary rail connections here. Anyway, I'm just going to flip back to see if the train, we got a train, where the trains are going to, where they actually operate. Okay, we got, oh no, you're operating there. Where are you going? I think this is the one I'm looking for. He should now come up through here, so I might not have needed to actually change those signals there. Oh, and then again he might. Haha. Where are you going? Does that mean that there's a signal there that's not compatible? Let me just check. Oh, you're there, you're there. Well, he's going to work through there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So he's going to go up through there. And then what he should do is come back on the other line and get out of there. Yep, good. So we've got that operational. Anyway, let's get down to doing some real work as they would. Oh, the other thing we've got now is we have broken through to here. What I'm doing at the moment is just building an ordinary road into here because I'm not sure how the tram network is going to be developed. And what I want to do is get this. Oops, thank you, game. Get that done. Just remove that because it means that we've now got. Why won't? Oh, you've got a little bit of road stuck there, which we can remove. Yeah, so it means we've now got a connection via the tunnel to Gosport. Eventually, we'll say we will put the tram network together, but at the moment I just want to be able to get for the road construction crew to get out to here. And that means we've got a good connection there. Now, one thing I do need to put in over here is sanitation. I'm kind of wondering, where can we put... We've got this, how flat is the area here? Well, it's all high up. If we can put the kind of sanitation in this area, that's all lower than the buildings there. So if we can somehow get the sewage discharge system in this area, looks like we may have to push this out a bit. So I think I've still got the, yeah, actually we can make a little bit of extra room here as well by doing this. Yeah, we'll just push this through, let the ups, something like that. And it means we can put in the discharge wherever you are. It should now go on there quite nicely because it's got a nice hard edge. And of course it means that we're going to use our normal sanitation sewage treatment. Our favourite one. Not that one, this one. You can come there. We can go underground and we can just make sure, yeah, we can put all 3 pipes in here. We might need it because this could get to a fairly large town. And of course it means that from this off, what we're going to need is a, where's the sewage switch? We'll put, we don't want it in there because we'd have to put a footpath to it. Yeah, I think if we put you there, like that. I think I'd like to put a, we could put a switch in here somewhere. Actually, maybe if I could put it up here. Yeah, I think if we can put it on this corner like that, that covers the fire station. And we could put, say, another one just about there, like that. And we go underground. Always go for big. Requires proper slope. Actually, we'll go in the top like that. We've got one over there. I think what we're going to do is give ourselves some capacity like that, because this could get fairly big. So I think what we'll do is got a little bit of an enclave here. We are going to come along here. So if I put another one in, we need to overlap with the fire station. This one covers there. I think maybe we'll tuck you up. Maybe fairly close like that. Like that. And we'll put a footpath there. Again, I think if I put the switch in about here, there we can put a switch in, so we can put it this side actually. Maybe, yeah, we'll put it about there. And that means we can run a big pipe from there, bring you in like that. What that will do is give us plenty of redundancy within the system itself, which we can then use to our advantage. Now we've got accommodation out here. Let me just get rid of this. We've got police station there. We've got the mall there. I think if we put another small mall up here in this area, yeah, I think we can make this work. If we got this area here, we could grow this area. So how far? You can come out to about there. We've got a road there, we've got a road there. So if I put another small shopping mall, actually, maybe if we put a road in here, we can put the shopping mall in the center here. So say for example, we put something like this here, create a kind of service road effect like that. And then we can put a shopping mall in about here, and that means that we've got some height here, and what that will mean is that we could then build out this way, and then we can put our water system in here. Let me just see. We need a water treatment plant. Question is chemicals or gravel. We're a long way away from gravel, and we've got a strop off there. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to use that's the water treatment, small, water treatment, big. The underground is above the terrain. Okay, we're gonna have to push this out again a little bit. See if we can get a little bit of height from center. Just push you out something like that. Maybe along the edge of the road there. Do a little bit of smoothing, just in case we want to put roads or things up. Yeah, I think if we go with a big water treatment plant here, like that, it's in range of the sanitation, and then that means that we could then we could put, what's the water connections here? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we got three outputs that way. So what we could do is put I don't want that. Put the old water tower up here. Okay. Let the game run. So we can put the old water tower up here, which can then run the water down into this area here. and then build up this area. Right, I think that's enough of an outline here at the moment, because obviously we've got a lot of work to do building all this infrastructure. Right, before we go anywhere, even though the game's been on pause, I just want to see double check what's going on in this area. Obviously, yeah, I think we can leave the game to its devices here. What we're going to do now is flip up to here. And I want to look at Totton next. I think we're going to need to tidy this road up a bit here. And we're going to put a straight road to there. Like that. Now the cable station is there. Yeah, power is something else we're going to need to think about. And what's the terrain like here? Wow. Okay, so basically that says that Totton is going to be built in here along the edge of this road. We may need to remove this road so that we can do a bit of leveling. This road doesn't really go anywhere, does it? Oh no, it's just a road there. How far away is all this stuff? Let me just want to measure this. I want it to be a reasonable distance. Right, so the main incinerators and stuff are here. So this is going to be about... So what we're looking at is coming down through here. So we're looking... Let's see if I can put the town itself here is irrelevant. I mean, I've got a few little buildings, but it's not really going to be relevant to what we're going to be doing. I think what we're going to do is, because this is going to be the heart of what we're going to be doing, we're going to put a big cable station, and we're going to put you in about here. Because you are going to be the central employer. What we've got to do now is get a cableway from here to here. And so this is where it's going to be fun. Again, we're going to have to kind of put a service road. Can we get you... I think that... Does that get over the top? Okay, we're gonna need to rotate you, because you're gonna have to put some kind of service road in here, so that we can need to start angling you that way. Okay, that will build the road in through there. So we'd have the cableway running to there. So we've got the cableway planned in. What we will need is if I put you out like that, this is going to be a little bit of an odd service road, but in an odd way it does actually connect up to there. This one's going to be easy, and we can build the gravel road from there to there. This one's going to be, these two are going to be a little bit more complicated, in the sense that, actually no, what we could do, can I turn this one round? Okay, let me just do this. If I go to maximum height, That should be there. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to build this with asphalt, because actually I've never done this before. Let me just put a gravel road here like that. I've never tried this. No. It won't do it. One-way roads have to come off of asphalt, don't they? I'm sure they are. What I want now is one of these. Or what we're going to do is put something like that. It's not going to be super duper. So basically what we're doing here is going to create a service road which will come into there, and then eventually we will run the planned road. This actually strengthens the case for the plastics plant, and I think I'm going to need to do no. That we've actually got gravel across this road here. Got the road there, road there, road there. We've got this planned, the cableway. Eventually, once I've decided on what, yeah, that's literally running along the top of the hill here. What we will need to do is put some sanitation in here. What probably we're going to need to do is try and put it in here. I don't think I've got. Oh yes, we have. We got a. I mean, this town isn't going to be massively big, so we could make a platform here like that. That should be enough. And we could put a sewage treatment plant just there. Obviously, we're going to need to work on getting a footpath up to there. And oh, that went green. Okay, that's good. Underground. I think we only probably need 2 pipes here. So we've got this treatment plant in there. The water plant we can move somewhere else, so we can build our small town in here. The problem we're going to have is how we're going to deliver the food supply here, but I'll come back to that. I know I'm spreading myself a little bit thin, but I want these guys should have got all their necessary vehicles in wherever you are. There you are. Bricks, you can pick bricks up from there. You can pick up the prefabs. Actually, no. You can pick up the prefabs from there. So that's bricks, prefabs, and of course the gravel's going to need to come from. Interesting. I think you can do a direct pickup because the actual where's the. Oh no, it's here. So you can pick up the gravel. So that's gravel. We're gonna have to find out where you get. In theory, we shouldn't need boards unless we're building a tunnel. You can unload the gravel there. 40. Yeah. Start with 40%. You can unload the steel, perhaps the bricks, the boards, the electronics from here. We'll start with 40%. Okay. We'll put you onto there. Come on, you can do it. You can pick up the steel from there. We don't need mech components, but then I store electronic components in here, but yeah, I think, well, technically So where do we store? We run out of... Okay, we're out of electronic components at the moment. So you guys are going to have to make the long run to the border for the electro components. I don't... And that's the only... The question is, where do we get the boards from? Let me just see, where do you get your boards from? Or who supplies you with Gravo distribution? Board collect, where are you? Okay, so the board collect is there. Okay, wow. I didn't realize, although technically that should be enough because we don't use that much in the way of boards, so you can come there as well. And what those guys can do now is just collect all the resources to get up into here. And how are we doing here? We haven't got everyone into here at the moment. Part of me actually thinks that we may need to put some board production out here, but I'm not exactly sure how well that's actually going to go. Haven't we got any unemployment in this area? Not at the moment. We're going to need to put something about this area. So we're going to need to expand down this way. This place is in a little bit of an unfortunate placing. I think what I will do is we got this one here. Now this is going to be quite a big town, so and we will be bringing food and that down to here. So I think what we're going to do is put a second. This is quite a big mile, isn't it? Yep. So I think what we're going to do here is not kindergarten, grocery, shopping centre. I think we're going to put, to keep the theme going. Okay, there's a little bit of a road in there which I couldn't see. Probably left over from some previous attempt to build something here. I think if we put the shopping mall in about here, like that. Put you about there. What's the storage for meat in here? 3 tons of meat. It's a bit manky. What we could do is bring the necessary supplies in from the back. So let me just come here. I think we will put a cold store in the back here. Maybe get you out as far as possible. Actually, if I flip you, whoops, put you that way, like that. Something. Actually, no. If I put you, if I put you this side, what's the? Let me just look at the cold store. You've got to be a bit careful here. If I set to limit amount, I don't really. Okay, this is actually set the right way round. You've got 42 tons. Trying to think if we've got an internal storage of 11. I think actually, yeah, I think what we could do here is just trying to be a bit economical, and we're put a single cold store in something like that, angled Yeah, we'll put you in like that. Something like there. I think we'll carry on extending that road. And then we'll put something like that there. And what that will mean is that we can bring the food and meat in from behind, which will make life a little bit easier from a distribution point of view. And then what that will mean is that we can start to grow and expand this area. One thing I haven't looked at for quite some time is we've nearly finished this bit of track, which means that needs to be built as well. Okay. I think what I am going to do is actually, we got 21 million, so we got plenty of money. We're going to purchase one of you. We need to get you flowing, contributing. I think to begin with, what we'll do is we'll get them working on the actual metro system, because while we build up, and then eventually we will, I can find it. We need to get rid of this thing. He's just taking away way too many workers, which I need up here, because we do have a little bit of a food problem here. How's the food supply here? Okay, we're on the 11th of May. We've got food up there. We haven't even scratched the surface on this one yet. And the reason for that is that we don't have the workforce in here to actually start consuming this. We need to expand this because we need to support the growth of Lymington. Okay, so we're going to flip back to Warstock now. And I want to see how these guys are going. Okay, we've now got to this point here. I'm going to need to electrify that. High priority. And then that gets us to this point here. So just make sure that gets picked up. Because the next phase is we've got to do this little section here. This is where it's going to start to disrupt our actual train lines. And you can see these lines are quite busy at the moment. Here. What's going on here? Why am I electrifying these? Oh, that's a mistake, but it's too late. We might as well just do it. How are we doing? I just want to make sure, because once this runs out of resources. Okay, you're out of steel and prefabs now. I think we've now run out of this, so it's time to say goodbye to you. Right, if we and what we'll do is we'll just remove you from the premises. Just going to follow him very, very quickly. And it means I can then shut down the workforce and we can move the focus more onto our new rail construction office. I just want to make sure that this guy can get in and be scrapped. On his last journey, he's served us well, but he's no longer required, and therefore he needs to make one more final contribution to our our economy by being scrapped. So in he goes, and I'm not saying, wow, okay. What is going on here? cannot store or export mixed waste. That's not good. I thought this guy was picking up from here. It's already assigned. Yeah, you pick up mixed waste. Where are you taking the mixed waste? Okay, actually, I think what we can do now is we've got hazardous waste here. We've got mixed waste here. I think what we will do is you're picking up mixed waste. You can start to ship the mixed waste to here. Unload 90%. Yeah, we're gonna need now to start really working hard now on the disposal here, because we've got hazardous waste there, and we've also got hazardous waste over here. Wow, I'm gonna need to move it pretty quickly. That gives me a problem, because at the moment the train that's moving the hazardous waste, let me just check here. Okay, from Basingstoke, you're picking up 40%. Just see, I think I've got a suspicion that all these guys are busy because they're now in late May. No, okay. That's not at 40% then. Okay. The question is, what am I going to do with the mixed waste if I assign it to here? I really need this electrification badly, and also need. I mean, we're not really fully utilizing our rail distribution offices at the moment. It's like we got. I mean, most of them have only got like one train in at the moment. But what I'm waiting for is for this to be all connected up. So this becomes a lot more important. I think we're now do that. Again, high priority. Anyway, I'm running out of time on this video. I've got a little bit of finicky work to do here to get this done, and I'm gonna have to micro it. So we're just gonna do that because I need to slowly push this out in stages, and it is going to cause disruption. But the easiest way for me to do this is actually off camera, simply because it's I am going to literally have to kind of watch it, micro it, manage the trains around here, because trains are going to get stuck because of the, well, just to show you the links here. You can see here we've got two-way links here, two-way links here, but the trains running backwards and forwards in here are going to have a bit of a problem. That is going to cause a disruption, and that disruption will be wider because, of course, we've also got this flow out here because we're still building this area here. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.